Hello, my name is Vanessa Sharker. I'm a speech pathologist in Australia. I'm really excited to be here today to take you through your speak out practice. I want to thank Samantha for offering this opportunity while she's taking some leave for a speech pathologist like myself from around the world to be able to present your daily practice video. So I've got some really great things in store for you, some wonderful treats. We're going to learn some Australian sayings and do some Australian trivia. So I'm really looking forward to doing that with you. We're going to go through all the speak out components today before we get through that though. So if you haven't got a glass of water, go and grab one right now, because after each section, we're going to have a little break, have a sip of water before we move on. So let's get into it. Okay, so our first practice, as always, is the warm-up exercise. So as the name suggests, a warm-up exercise is to warm up your voice. Warming up your voice is really important, and it's a really easy way to start waking up your voice to using intent. So thinking about speaking up and over, being deliberate. So by being deliberate, we are not being automatic. If we're automatic, we might go too fast. Our voice might go back to being soft, and we don't want that. So we're in charge of our voice, not Parkinson's. So that means we might stretch the words out a bit. We might change our tone. But no matter what, we're using intent and we're speaking up and over. I often say to my clients, if you've got something to look at, maybe it's out a window, a clock on the wall, a television even, a painting, a photo. Look at that thing on the wall and use that as your focus point to put your voice to. Okay, let's get going. We're going to go together. May, me, my, mo, moo. You saw a lot of me doing big mouth movements, and that's what we need to do, getting those movements big. May, me, my, mo, moo. These are funny syllables, but every one of those counts because it's a way of practicing being deliberate. So we're not rushing through it. We're stretching them out. We are in control. Let's do it again. May, me, my, mo, moo. Great. How did you go? We've got two more. I might gradually leave it to yourselves, starting you off with 2 or 3 and then letting you go on. Let's do it that way for the last 2. May, me, my. Great. Did you keep going the same way? Keeping those movements big. All right, let's do one more where I leave you on your own maybe for the last 3. May, me. Fantastic. So hopefully you're keeping your eye on whatever it is on the wall that you've got your focus on, and you made your voice speak out, up and over. So the next thing we're going to do is our R. We're not going for the longest R, and we're definitely not going for the loudest R. We're looking for a good quality voice. If you can do 10 seconds, that's great. But if you can only do 5 seconds, well, that's fine too. We might mix up the practice a little bit today, doing some longer ones and maybe doing some shorter ones. But the main focus is quality, and that you think about your voice going up and forward. It's going out. It's not falling at your feet. And you'll notice the whole time I'll be back to having that big mouth. And I often put my finger on my chin, and that helps my clients here in Australia to make sure that they keep their mouth wide open. Okay, let's throw our voices out. I forgot one thing. Let's have a drink of water. Okay, we've got 4 to go. Putting your voice forward, up and over. Samantha's favourite saying is up over the tennis net. And I love that because I love the game of tennis. So let's go there. Up over the tennis net with your voice. Ah. Great. All right, we've got 3 more. Let's go. Ah. Fantastic. All right, 2 more to go. You're doing really well. Sometimes this is hard, just holding a steady note. But remember, like I said, we're going for quality. So if you can do a few seconds of good quality voice, you can build on that. You'll be able to get more and more voice as long as it's quality. Let's go again. Ah. 5 seconds of good quality voice counts. All right, last one. Ah. Great. All right, let's have a drink of water. All right, we're going to do our glides. So I normally talk about using that same R voice to start with and then rise up and then having a little rest at the top of the mountain. We need a little rest at the top of the mountain before we come back down. And what's important as we are going up, that we hear all the little notes as we're going up in that glide, and then all the little notes coming back down. So let's throw our voices out and then going up. Ah. Ah. Fantastic. So you might have noticed I didn't go as low as I can. I can go much lower than that. I'm just going back to where my normal voice sounds. So the other thing I did, kept that mouth wide open, and I talked to my clients about finishing strong. So let's finish strong. Great. So this is a really important task, to really focus on whatever it is at the wall that you're looking at, because often I find our tendency is to drop the head and for the mouth to close. So we get, oh. But we are going to be deliberate, making sure we keep our eyes on the target and the mouth wide open so we don't do that. Let's go again, keeping your eyes on the target, on the wall, or even out through a window. Ah. Ah. I finished strong. All right, 2 to go. Let's throw our voice out and up. Ah. Ah. Great. Now your voice is probably warming up pretty well, so we might be able to go a little higher, making sure all the little notes are there, climbing up and climbing down. Throwing our voice out first. Ah. Ah. Did you finish strong? Great. All right. We're going to do some counting. Everyone knows how to count. And we could go through this not thinking a lot about it. We could just run through it because everyone knows how to count. But we know that we need to do it deliberately. We need to be purposeful. So we are going to stop after every 5 numbers, and we are also going to make them smooth and connected. So we're not going to rush through them. We're going to make sure that our rate is even. Okay, so are we ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You saw I moved my mouth a lot. This is very deliberate practice. Let's go. Starting from 6. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we always stop at the end. I forgot we didn't have our drink of water. Let's have a little sip. Eleven, 12, 13, 14, 15. Stop. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Great. You're making sure that you're speaking out, whether it's over your laptop, out the window, speaking out these numbers. Let's start back from 1 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's okay to have that little breath. If you feel like you're running out of air, have a breath and keep going. Just think about using intent. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So with the teen numbers, we're using more breath because the numbers are getting longer. We're not just saying 1, 2, 3. We're doing numbers that are longer. So we might find we mightn't have needed a breath up here, but now we might need a breath along here. All right. Let's go one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Well done. Have another little sip of water. Okay. Now, I promised you some Australianisms today. So for our reading, I thought it would be fun to teach some Australian sayings. So I've got the saying and then I've got the meaning. I thought I'd start with a short, easy one, something that everyone would know. So, got to hold it back there a little bit further. G'day, mate. Let's say that again with purpose, being really deliberate. G'day, mate. And obviously that just means hello. Let's do it once more with intent. Throwing your voice up and over. G'day, mate. Fantastic. All right. Our next Aussie saying, how you going? How you going? Are we throwing that voice out? So let's say what the meaning is, deliberately with purpose. How are you going? How are you going? Great. All right. I don't say a lot of these sayings, but they're just fun. So let's do this one here. Fair dinkum, mate. Fair dinkum, mate. So it's sort of got two meanings. One meaning is I'm being honest. I'm being honest. Or it could actually be a question. Are you being honest? Are you being honest? This is actually one I do say. Okay, a nice little short one today for this one. Suss it out. Is your mouth moving, making lots of big movements? And is your voice going out, up and over? Let's do it again. Suss it out. What does that mean? It means to investigate or to check something out. To check something out. Now, I don't know anyone who says this one, but I just thought it was quite cute. So let's throw this one in. All right. Not within cooey. Not within cooey. What does that mean? It means a long distance away. Doing that deliberately, with purpose, with intent. A long distance away. Now, are you remembering to do big mouth movements? All right. I hadn't heard this one before, but I actually quite like this one. I spoke to someone today and they said, oh, I know that one. I use that. So it was one of my Speak Out clients. He knew this one. Straight to the pool room. Straight to the pool room. And what does that mean? We are going to break up this sentence. So let's just read the first part. Something to be proud of. Something to be proud of. Now, this sounds really exaggerated. It's not how we speak, but reading is our opportunity to really practice being exaggerated, being deliberate. This is not how we speak, but it's an opportunity to really do a lot of big mouth movements, really speaking out. We are moving towards conversation, but this is our opportunity to really make big changes, really being conscious. Another meaning is good quality. Good quality. Great. Okay, hands up. I actually do say this one. Chuck on some tracky dacks. Let's say it again. Chuck on some tracky dacks. Okay, what could that mean? Put on some tracksuit pants. Now, you might be in a country where you don't even call them tracksuit pants, or maybe even have tracksuit pants. I love tracksuit pants, but another word in Australia is tracky dacks. Let's do it once more. Chuck on some tracky dacks. And let's take this line and break it up. Put on some tracksuit pants. Great. All right. Again, I actually probably might even say this word. So in Australia, we like stirring each other. So if someone doesn't turn up to work, we might say, chuck a sickie. Let's say it again. Chuck a sickie. Now, thinking about every word is counted. Every word matters. What does that mean? This is a bit of a longer definition. I've kept the longer ones towards the end because we've warmed up by now, but we are going to cut this into sections. To have a day off work when you aren't actually sick. Let's do that again because it's easy to run on with a sentence like that because it is so long. To have a day off work when you aren't actually sick. Are you learning some great Aussie sayings here today? I didn't ask. Who's been to Australia? Has anyone been to Sydney? Has anyone been to Avoca Beach? If you haven't come to Sydney or Australia, would you like to come? Now, we're going to be talking about a few things about Australia in using a little bit of trivia. I've had great fun finding all these materials to do today's session, so we're going to get onto that. One more saying for you, though, and then we'll have a drink of water. Now, this is not something anyone would say, but I just thought it was fun. What does it mean? A few roos loose in the top paddock. A few roos loose in the top paddock. So that means someone who is a bit stupid. Now let's do it again. Exaggerated. Someone who is a bit stupid. So you might be able to use some of those on your friends or relatives, and they'll be asking you, where did you learn these things? So you can say, I learned them from an Australian speech pathologist, and they might wonder about our profession in Australia. Okay, now who knows things about, let's have a drink first. Who knows about Australian animals? So, who can name 5 Australian animals? Can you think of 5? I'm sure There are some that most people will think of. Okay, you might have a brains trust next to you. That might be able to help you. Can you think of 5? I'll go through and name 5, and we can practice these ones. They might be the ones you thought of, or maybe not. But let's practice saying these 5 Australian animals deliberately. We have kangaroo. Let's do that again. Kangaroo. Okay, everyone knows the koala. Koala. So that's a bit of a longer word, just like kangaroo. And you can see I'm being really deliberate with those words. It would be very easy to run those words quickly and not be deliberate on the syllables. Okay, one of my favourite Australian birds, if not bird, is called, well, let me see if you can guess. It starts with a K, and it's known for its laughing. It's a wonderful bird, but I think if people come to our country, they would think it's a very strange thing to have a bird that laughs. Kookaburra, that's right. Let's try it. Kookaburra. Kookaburra. All right, 2 more. I love echidna. Echidna. So it has all the spikes on it. And another strange Australian animal, can anyone guess? Has a bill like a duck and a long tail like a beaver. Now, I've heard a tale that when English explorers came to Australia and they took a sample, I don't know if it was alive or dead, probably dead, back to England, the people back in England thought they were playing a joke. They thought they had stuck together a duck with, I don't know, a dog and put a tail on it. And they didn't believe that this animal actually exists, but it does. And you will find in Australia a platypus. Let's get that word deliberate. Platypus. Great. All right. Can you name 3 famous Australian landmarks? This one might be a bit easier. 2 of them are in Sydney. Did you get this one? The Sydney Opera House. Maybe you got this one. The Sydney Harbour Bridge. Or this one. The Aboriginal name is Uluru. Uluru. Okay, a little bit more of Australian trivia before we get on to our nonsense words. Can you name 3 Australian actors? There's a lot of great Australian actors. Can you name 3? There's 2 brothers that are quite famous. Maybe that would give you a hint, and that would give you 2 of the 3. So I'm talking about the Hemsworth brothers. But there are some other great Australian actors. Did you think of Hugh Jackman? One of my favourite Australian actors is Toni Collette. And another fantastic Australian actor is Kate Blanchett. All right, one more. Can you name 3 Australian movies? If you're not sure, I have some hints. I think most people, 3 Australian movies. Did you think of this one? Let's say Crocodile Dundee. Crocodile Dundee. Now, as a little bonus point, this is a particular scene from the movie, and there was a quote from that scene. Does anyone know the quote from the scene where Crocodile Dundee is holding a knife? Let's say it together. That's not a knife. This is a knife. This is one of my other Australian movies. If you haven't seen this one, I recommend it. Let's say the name, Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. And maybe you didn't say this one of my favorites, Muriel's Wedding. Muriel's Wedding. That had Toni Collette in it. And there's a very famous saying that people in Australia love saying, "You're terrible, Muriel." Let's say that phrase, not just being deliberate, getting some intonation, because unfortunately with Parkinson's disease, our voices can sound a little bit flat. So let's practice getting some change. You're terrible, Muriel. Okay. That is your Australian trivia for the day. How did you go? We're going to finish with Dr. Boone's nonsense words. Now, why would we do these? If you've watched videos before, you would have seen that Samantha explained that these work on the back of the tongue. So it can be hard work. With Parkinson's, you can chew and chew and chew, and the food doesn't go to the back to be able to swallow it. And sometimes people just give up and spit food out. So if we can work on the back of the tongue to be stronger, we're going to be able to get the food back. So there are a lot of sounds in here that work the back of the tongue. So I want you to really feel the work that your tongue is doing. Okay, let's go through. Gu, la, gung, ga, ga. Did you feel the back of your tongue work? Let's do it again. Gu, la, gung, ga, ga. I could feel the back of my tongue working. Next one. Ku, ka, mang, gu, ka. Work that back of the tongue. Ku, ka, mang, gu, ka. Great. Last 2. Gangla, gangla. And kukla, kukla. All right. That's your speak out session for today. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I've had. I've had a ball. I thank you everyone for watching. And once again, I thank Samantha for this wonderful opportunity and to be involved in such an effective program for Parkinson's people all around the world. So I say, see you later, mate. Goodbye.